Hello everyone, Kelly Melendi here. I wanted to want to make sure this is working because I know Facebook has been having some issues. So I'm just gonna take a minute here and see if this is working. I don't see it. If there is anyone out there that is listening, just pop in and just say yes or a thumbs up or something, because I am really not seeing this. I know, let me try this a little bit to refresh it and see. There we are. Okay, so it is going. So I wanted to talk today about, hold on, I just want to make sure because I'm not sure that it is working. Maybe it is. Let's see. No, okay, it is. All right, so I wanted to talk today about worthiness a little bit, and the what that means. Everybody talks a lot about, in the self-development world, about worthiness, and you have to feel worthy of something before you can have it, and you have to, you have to feel this and you have to feel that. And I began to think about what does that actually mean, worthiness? How do you feel worthy of something before you can see the results of something? So if you're trying to say you're in a job, or that you're just it's an okay job and you want something else, and you're meant for something else, and in order to go for that that bigger expanded version of yourself, you have to feel worthy of what that is out there. How do you begin to do that without evidence that you can actually even do that? So I started to kind of, think about my life and about how I have gotten to where I am, and, where I was, and how I got to where I am now. And was it a worthiness, or was it, work, or was it, uphill battles, or, why was I someplace that I didn't, again, not bad, but it wasn't, I knew I was meant for more. And to get to that other thing that I wanted to do, I had to have somewhere within me, had to know that I could attain that thing that I wanted to do. How can I do that? So again, we all hear about law of attraction, and, your thoughts that you're having create the life that you want to have. Everybody is really aware of that. And what I started to really think about is to, again, take that one step further, as to say, okay, if I am here in this spot in my life, but I want to be someplace else, and law of attraction says, that thoughts, attract, like attracts like. So I need to, start to think thoughts that are forward thinking for myself. So, I am living a life that feels good for me. All right. So again, there is what I began to really look at is, all right, so we have a place where we are, and we have a place that we want to be. And what is that bridge that brings us from here to there? If we all know that, in order to gain confidence into doing something, you have to actually do that thing. And then you even need to take, like for me, I needed to take it that one step further, that said, not only do I actually have to do this thing that I want, but I have to get some feedback from that I'm actually good at this thing that I want to do, or this, this thing out there that I think is going to make me feel better. So if you want a perfect picture as to what you're actually thinking, what your belief system is. Look around your life. Look around where you are and look around the results that you're getting. And that is a direct correlation of the thoughts that you're having. We might not think that, but it actually is. There's a direct correlation to where you are and the thoughts that you're having about life. We can all say, well, Kelly, that's not true, because I want to live this great life, and I am telling myself I want this, expanded version of myself. I want this thing over here, this job that's going to make me feel better, that I can help people, that I can serve people. And I've been thinking that for a long time, and I want that, and I'm not getting that. I challenge you to look at the I want to have that. That thought of I want to have that is keeping you in the wanting of having that. The thought of, I want to, be good at, playing tennis is keeping you in that space of I want it, rather than I am doing what I need to do to be a good tennis player. I am beginning to look at what it would take to go from that job that I'm in, that's again, good job. I got the comforts of everything. I have the life and the health insurance, and I have the security of vacation time, and I have this, but I see over here this thing that I really want to do because I know that I was meant to do that. But my thoughts are constantly on that the job that I have isn't feeding me. That job that I have isn't that great. Again, for me, it's like, as a nurse, we all hear the silent killer is high blood pressure. It does all these, it does awful things to your body, untreated high blood pressure. For me, the thoughts that we don't think that are all that bad is the silent killer of your creation of the life that you want to have. I think everybody is pretty much on board of, we all have those people that we know that we don't want to be around, that it's just that constant, everything is awful. From you go to a restaurant and the waiter is this and the waiter is that, and the bread is awful and the hamburger is this, and that TV show is horrible, but yet they keep watching it, and like that negative Nelly person, like we're all aware of that. But what I have come to find out about myself is that blatant negativity is okay. That's we all know what that is. But the next step of that is I didn't think I was being that negative, but when I was talking about either a job that I had that I wasn't loving, or I was getting that acceptance of the life that I was in, and I knew where I wanted to go. And I was not like, again, now, you're in that frame of mind that that your thoughts create your reality. So just by me saying, well, I want to be over here and I am here, there is a negative connotation to that. There is a silent negative part of that. So we really need to be really careful of the wanting, like what we want. There is a you have to figure out that want of where you want to go, but then you can't stay in that I want to bring out into the world. If you're you have this product that you absolutely know can do all these things for people, but if you stay in that frame of mind that is, I want to bring this out into the world, we get stuck in that, and there is a negative place there. Of my whole famous, it is what it is living in that part of it. So we have to really, really be careful of, just because we may not be blatantly being negative, there's a whole underlying negativity of staying in that frame of mind that says, I want to be, physical therapist, or I want to bring this out into the world, or I want to, learn how to play, the piano, or I want to do, it's all these things are like the very first step as to what you want. But then you have to get into that next action step as to say, okay, what's something I can do? One of the things that I work with women is if they want to, that they're in that job, and I ask them, where do you want to be in 5 years from now, 4 years, or even a year from now? 9 times out of 10, what people will begin to tell me is all the things they don't want. They don't, well, I don't want to have to give up the security of my job. I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to have to do that. And I kind of ask the question again, so what is it that you do want? They'll go back into, I don't want to, okay, but what do you want? So it's getting, and again, they're not even aware. And again, I have to do this for myself a lot of times too. When I begin to look at where I see myself, I begin to start seeing myself there instead of that, where I am. Just because we're not outwardly negative about any situation or complaining about it, by staying in that belief system that says, well, what I have is, the security, and I can't leave that. That's a negative situation. That is a negative place, and that's why you're staying there, because you have to begin to look at yourself already doing that. You have to look at yourself making small little increment changes to get from the place where you are to the place that you want to be. And it starts with, I don't want to say accepting, but it starts with being in that place of, okay, here, this is where I am. I am, in this job, and it is providing me all these things. Like, start getting excited about that fact that, I can pursue this other thing. It's not a one or the other. I don't have to give up my job to begin to look at what it is that I want to do. I don't have to do that. I can be in this job, get excited about this job that is providing for you, the health insurance and the security and all those things, while you begin to venture off into looking at what that is that you want. And then you get yourself back in that excitement place of, oh, well, I get to go to this job, get paid for it, have that security, almost that safety net, while I go look at this other thing that I want to do. We all tend to think we have to have one or the other, or it has to go from all or nothing. And it does not have to be that way. I didn't do it that way. Most people don't do it that way. Most people begin to just investigate what it is, like getting clear on what that is that they want, so that you're coming from a place of not what you don't want, but the place of what you do want. So when you begin to look at yourself a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever that is, sometimes it's even tomorrow, you're in that mindset of where you are isn't an awful place. Because when we start stepping outside of ourselves to change change the environment, we constantly are coming outside of ourselves because once we get from here to there, then you're going to find something wrong with that if you're just not okay with who you are. And to me, that's what that worthiness is about. Anything that we do in life, it's not about gaining, quote unquote, the skills of how to do that. I mean, that is definitely part of it, but it's a mindset. Worthiness to me is a mindset. It's a mindset that says what I put my mind to and what I begin to forward think as to where I want to be is so much better and so much more creative than being in that spot of, I want this, but I can't, all the reasons why I can't do that. And, I was out running this morning, and I haven't really run. I mean, I've run a little bit here and there, but I haven't been running a lot because, I live in the Boston area, and it was snowy and icy and all that sort of stuff. And it's just not really enjoyable going out to do in that kind of weather. I don't mind the cold, but like the ice and the snow on the sidewalk, blah, blah, blah. And I hadn't really run that much. And when I went out, I came back, I thought, wow, I haven't really run consistently in probably, 4 or 5 weeks. But my body, it's not like I had to start from square A again. I didn't have to start from the very beginning of when I, years ago was training to run. There was something inside, inside of me that just went back to where that knowingness of, I know I can do this because I've done that before. And I was able, again, I wasn't as quick as I was when I was doing it every single day, or I wasn't as, I maybe huffed and puffed a little bit more, but I didn't have to start back at square A. So, what I'm saying here is that once you begin to do certain things, you never have to go back to that original place that you started at. If you want to, like I see this a lot too with people who are trying to lose weight. Oh, well, I've gained the weight back again. Yeah, but you know what? The next thought about that is, well, I've done it before. I can do this again. You're no different than when you were original, that original time that you did this. It's just your mind, in your belief is that you have to get to that next step of, yes, okay, here you are. You've, gained 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 20 pounds over the winter. That doesn't mean that you have to stay there. It doesn't mean that you can't go back to that where you were, before that, or start. And, taking that first step is always the hardest part of it. Once you get the momentum going, and once you get your belief system, once you know that worthiness is a state of mind, there's nothing that you can't do. There's nothing that you can't keep progressing toward. Our own minds is what keeps us back. Our own minds and our own thoughts about these things is what keeps us in that place of, well, I don't know if I want to do this. I've tried it before. Well, have you tried it lately? Have you tried it today? Have you, put yourself out there to take an action step? Because it is about action. I'm sorry, I would love to be able to say to you, all you got to do is think about it. And, the law of attraction will just, this is where I have a little bit of issue with, the law of attraction. It is having the thought, but then there's an action step behind it. You have to take the first step. You have to initiate that change that you want to have. It might be reaching out to somebody to get support. It might be, investigating on the internet, how to lose weight. It might be talking to somebody who has done it before you and asking them. People want to help people. Everybody wants to help everybody. They really do. I mean, it is a rare occasion that if you went to somebody and asked them, hey, how did you do that? That they're not going to everybody wants to talk about themselves. They're going to be more than forward to say, hey, yeah, this is how I did it. And the difference between the people that are doing this stuff and the people who aren't and sitting in that, well, I can't because, is the action step that they're taking to make that happen. It's not going to happen overnight. It's like you can't, go out and begin to say, hey, I'm going to go run 5 miles and be able to do that the first time you go out. It's not going to, well, I mean, maybe there's somebody out there that can happen, but the majority of us need a training. You need to be able to, train at this. You got to be committed. You got to be determined. And you know what? There's time, if I was going to, this is the other thing I was thinking about today. When I'm running, and if I had to run uphill the whole time while I'm out there running, I don't think I'd be out there running. I'd be doing something different. There are times when you need to when you're out doing new things, you got to revert back to your comfort as to where you feel good. I've been working really hard at, learning sales and marketing. It's an uphill battle for me. It's not my forte of this part of the business, but I'm out there doing it. And the other day, I literally had to just go do something that I'm really good at just to feel good about myself. And there was nothing wrong about that. Everything I was trying to do or, been trying to do it's been uphill. I had to step back for a day and just say, you know what? I need to go gain some confidence that I can go do something else that really feels good for me. And everybody laughs at me. For me, it's always cleaning. I love cleaning. I love cleaning my house. I love airing the house out. I love changing the sheets. And that's where, as crazy as that is, that's where my comfort level is. I'm really good at it. I can tackle a room that's in complete disarray and fix it all up and air out the window, light a candle, buy some flowers, it looks beautiful. That's my comfort level. I literally had to go back to that. I had to go through my whole house, clean it, air it out, shake the dog out, shake this out and that out and the cushions out, and I felt so much better afterward because it was something that I knew I was good at. It's something that I love to do. And once I did that for a day, I went back, and now I could say, okay, now I can go back to this. I just needed to get my confidence back again. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nobody is expected to be able to do anything 100% of the time at 100%. That's just unattainable. So give yourself a break when you're feeling kind of, like, oh gosh, go back to what you know. Go back to what you feel good doing for a day. And then you can come to it at a whole new, fresh set of eyes. So I've talked a little bit today about worthiness and how it's a mindset. It's a mindset that you know that you can do these things that you're trying to do. It's a mindset that says, okay, today I might not know this, but I know that there is something inside of me that can figure all of this out. So I just encourage everybody to just reach out for help if you need a little pep talk. Reach out to somebody that like, I think what we tend to do too is we look at our family members or our friends and look to them to be supportive of doing something that they may not understand. And, we expect them to like be our whole cheerleaders and sometimes they are, but if they're not understanding, what they're seeing is kind of like that old version of you. And they're seeing all those places that maybe you've tried 100 different things and they're like, what are you trying to do now? And that's not a bad thing, but don't go to a support system that's not either understanding what you're trying to do or has their own maybe agenda of that sort of stuff. So just kind of be aware as to where those influences are coming for yourself. Get into places that are supportive and that people can see you for where you are today, not where you were maybe a year ago or even last week. So just keep that forward progression going. So have a wonderful day, everybody. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please put them in the remarks, and I would be on the messages, and I'd be more than happy to answer anything. Have a wonderful day, everyone.